Are we live? I'm not kidding you guys. This is the fourth time. So I was like pretty much done my presentation. And then I heard from someone that no one could see my screen. So it's completely useless if you can't follow along. So it's 7:36 and I'm starting over, and that's perfectly fine. I don't feel bad about it. I want to get you guys the information. And so that's it. Okay. So today's episode is very exciting. We are going over a kid's bedroom, and it's not just a kid's bedroom. It is a small kid's bedroom, and not only a small kid's bedroom, it's also a small shared kid's bedroom. So this is a challenge, and I absolutely love a challenge. So this particular family, I believe, is a family of 5. They reside in Southern California. That's all the details that I'm going to give out. As you guys know, I keep you on the down low. So by the way, if you're looking to submit your room to get a full layout, it's complimentary. You just need to kind of get in line. So the details on how to do that are in the description of this video. So yes, let's roll right into it, shall we? So I already told you it's a small shared bedroom. Here's the thing. So other challenges are they want to have like some type of a representation of their interests and some way to express their personality. I think that's super important for a kid's room. The next challenge is they have a lot of trophies apparently that are being stored in the closet. People are texting me. Give me a second. Okay. So they're being stored in the closet, which tells me that it's taking up valuable space for clothing. And that's definitely not something you want to do, especially when 2 kids are sharing. Okay. When 2 kids are sharing a closet, it's challenging. I keep getting messages. It's caused a little bit of confusion. So I apologize to you guys. I apologize to my friends who are hopping on as well. We will get it sorted, of course. So the other thing is, in a small space, there just isn't a lot of room for furniture. So there is that. So all of these different things I took into account. Now, we have 2 different individuals. Even though they're brothers, they're not the same person. So I figured, how do I design around that and make sure that everyone's represented, but everything looks cohesive? I found out that both of them like sports, which is good. Both of them like collecting baseball cards, and then one of them likes to play baseball and then likes to play the drums. So I definitely know that there's ways to also incorporate the drums, for example, which is a little bit different than sports, perhaps in like accessorizing. All you need to do is make sure that you're within the same color palette and or the same material usage. Okay, so I am going to try my luck at this again. I'm going to share my screen. How do I do this? Here we go. This one. Okay, let me just back out of this and make sure. Okay, we are going to present. We're going to share. Can you guys see me now? Okay. I think we're on. I can see it. Okay, we are good. Let's do this again. All right, let bigger so we can see it all together. All right, so this, as I always do every week, this is the room as is. These are the photos that she sent over to me. Love that they are landscape orientation. Thank you so much. So everyone can see really kind of what it's like to be in the room. So you can see, well, you can't see the door, but you basically walk into the room and you have books displayed, which is awesome for kids. The letter P that represents the older child. I guess this was his room on his own at one point, and now the younger brother is in there too. Let me make sure we're good. Okay, we're still good, guys. Double check now. And then you can see there's, some clothes hanging here. So you have a little clothes here. So there's basically, seems like there's not enough space in the closet, unfortunately. That's very common, of course, with kids anyway. And then also imagine 2 kids sharing the closet together. So we have an issue there. I have to tell you, this is a really clean room, considering there's 2 boys in this room. Definitely impressed. Okay, so love the feature wall here. We have the bunk bed. You can see the drawers. I assume each boy has a drawer here, so that's where they're putting their clothes. You have this nice big window here, which I love. I also love that she hung the curtain rod up way up above the window trim, which is excellent. And then this is such a fun light. So yeah, I think it's a really great starting point. Love the neutral palette, if you will. I feel like blue can be a neutral because it goes either way. Blue goes with a lot of colors. So let's roll through this. Oh, the other thing is you notice there's no accent rug or anything. It's just a carpet. Great starting point. Okay, on the opposite wall from the window, we have baseball cards displayed here in these clear shelves, and then you have the pegboard here with random photos. Definitely a great start to personalizing the space, but I feel like we could probably make this look a little more expensive and finished. And then also, this is a little bit off-centered here, which is interesting, and I know this, she wants to hang this up too. So this is again, the door coming into the room, and this is how it is. Okay, so opposite the bed, you see you have the closet here, and the mirror doors are awesome. Obviously, like, you can close everything up and not see if there's a mess in there, but then also use the mirrors to make the room look bigger. And then also, when you're getting dressed in the morning, make sure you look okay. So love that. And then you can see here again the books and the P and the extra clothing. Next. Okay, so again, you can see this is how you come through the door. You got a tent or something over here. That's okay. Yeah, so this is the space as it is. What do you guys for? It's a good little starting point, I think. Okay, so when designing a kid's room, again, a room should express their personality and their lifestyle. So what are the activities that they like to do, and how do they typically use their bedroom? Every kid is different, right? Second, you want to select timeless furniture that will last long term, and then cycle in and out decor and colors and keepsakes for personalization as they age and as their tastes change. And trends change as well, right? But if you have those key pieces that are sturdy and able to withstand a lot of wear and tear, then you're good to go, especially when they're like a neutral palette. Lastly, you want to create a space that allows kids to study, unwind from the stresses of school, just overall relax and just be themselves, because in the rest of the house, chances are they're not being represented as much. So this is kind of their area to make their own. So whenever I'm designing a kid space, I definitely want to make it playful, even if it is for slightly older kids. I mean, I still think that we should capture and represent their youth. You want to think about strategic storage. So not only clothing, but personal belongings, gifts, things like that. And obviously over time, that stuff just inevitably grows, especially as they're transitioning out of different sizes of clothing. I know, for example, my son ends up really loving to hang on to clothes, even if they're faded, even if the shirts are too short and the pants are high waters. He still has trouble letting them go. And so you have that transition period and the overlap. So it's really important to have extra space. Again, you want to make sure that their passions and interests are displayed. You want the space to be inspiring for learning and being creative, making sure, especially in a small space, that the pieces that you select are functional for even just one function. Multiple functions is also a plus. Obviously, you want to provide a quiet, comfortable place to sleep. That's super important for kids as they are growing. Adding in a homework or reading area if you have the space is great. Adding in functional lighting. We already talked about the timeless foundation pieces and making sure overall the design is durable and the furniture is durable. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. I know some of you when I lost you all, so maybe you guys are watching this on the replay, and again, I apologize, but this time it'll be just as good, I promise. yeah, so let me go over this existing color palette. So I think this is a great baseline. I love the wood here. Gray can transition to any color, really. As we know, we went through the huge movement of gray for several years. And blue, of course, and black. So really good starting point. So I decided to add to that, though, right? Because we really want to make this pop. I love that this kind of has like an orangey type of undertone here, because blue and orange are opposite from each other on the color wheel, and so they're actually complementary colors. That also ties in sort of to the baseball theme as well, because this is reminiscent of like a baseball glove. So I think we're headed in the right direction. What would I add to this, though? I would add white, brown, we already have. You could do a navy, like a darker blue. Definitely jungle green. I think that would be super fun. Charcoal. You could add yellow and red. I would use yellow and red sparingly, just because they can be kind of extreme and a little bit jarring. Like red is kind of meant to invigorate you. So sometimes in a bedroom where you're trying to rest, it's not necessarily the best color choice, but in moderation, it can work. Excuse me. Materials that you want to pull into your kid's bedroom are wood, metal, but not like out in the open, like maybe displayed on a shelf. Definitely soft textiles, charging points as they are starting to use computers, even at the younger ages. And of course, as they grow older, multiple devices. So that kind of takes the guesswork out of things. Extra cushions like your poofs or beanbag chairs, and novelty lighting like the neon signs or string lights are really fun too, or just like a fun themed light or lamp. Other things I would incorporate: clocks, books, plants, fun pieces. Obviously, they're personal belongings to personalize it. Extra storage, like I said, and apparently I put novelty lighting here twice, so I really liked it that much, I guess. Okay, so here's the inspiration for this room. You can see the color palette that I already have described. You got the wood, you got the blue, black, white, cognac, which again is reminiscent. This reminds me of a baseball glove. Absolutely, I love it. I love the extra patterns you can incorporate. You can see the yellow there and even the green. And I just love all the personality here. Let's move on to the layout. Okay, so this is the layout of this particular room. So we have, let's back up for a second. Watch this. This is something I explained at length in the other video that I deleted. So we'll go through it again. So here's what we have right now. This is a really interesting situation because we have a bit of a gap here because you don't want the bed to be right up against the window, right? So we're letting a little bit of light in here, but we are blocking a little bit of it as well. Over here, we have a gap as well. Here's where they ladder up to the top. And here is the storage. Each boy has their own drawer, I assume, right? So I'm going to do something wild and crazy. And I'm going to say, why don't we pull this bed all the way over to this wall, the wall that is parallel to the window wall. So imagine that. We're pulling it all the way back. So now we've lost a gap. But here's the problem. We have a ladder there that we can no longer use. So what are we going to do? We're going to flip this entire bunk bed 180 degrees. So now you can access the ladder. And now what this does is it eliminates these two drawers. Now, I wouldn't normally suggest this. However, we're going to do better. So now imagine we have all this space in front of the window now, which opens up the light coming in and expands the space instead of dividing it in two, right? So let's bounce back to the layout. So here you can see, so we have pulled the bed all the way to this back wall. Along the door wall here, the pillows are the headboard's facing the window. And so now we have all this space here, right? So what are we going to do with that? Well, now we're missing drawers, so we need to incorporate drawers again. But we're not even going to incorporate 2 drawers. We're going to incorporate 5 drawers or possibly 6 drawers. So now each boy has 3 drawers, which I think is going to be vastly an improvement. And what we did was we took a room that has a 9-foot ceiling and we're utilizing the vertical space because we definitely don't have floor space here. So we can't mess around with that. So we just have to pull everything up, which is perfectly fine because we have a tall bunk bed anyway. So I love the idea of incorporating greenery here in this space. You can see here, this is their window with the existing curtain panels. I kept their little hat rack, which was so cute. And, you know, I'm suggesting a little bit more patterned bedding to just layer on and make it much more soft and textured and interesting, and a little bit of color. I would do more color in this, but this is kind of just a visual idea for you guys to see. Just basically the actual layout that I would suggest. Back on here and see how you guys are doing. Is everyone still here? Okay, good. I see 2 of you are on here. Does anyone want to say anything? Do you guys have any questions so far? No? Okay. If you have questions, let me know, because we don't have to only focus on this bedroom. If you are a parent and you have a kid space and you have a question related to that, please feel free to stop me. We can go over that as well. I'm happy to help. Okay. So back to this. So we have the closet over here, which is perpendicular to the window. And underneath the bed, I decided let's throw a large area rug, just a big square, right? So this is specifically 6 foot 7 inches. That's typically a standard size for a square rug. If you can find a 7 by 7, great. This is a 10 by 10 rug. You can definitely do it. I also added in a sheepskin rug because, again, adding to the softness, and I just think they're fun. I love just the organic shape of it too. It's just, I love them. That's all I have to say about that. So there's that. So we have that finished. I love the light fixture that they picked out. I'm gonna just leave it at that, except that I will tell you, if you're selecting an overhead light for a room, I'm gonna give you a trick on how to figure out what is the effect. So I told you guys this is a 10 by 10 room, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add 10 to the perpendicular wall, which here is also 10 feet. So 10 plus 10 is 20. That means that you need a 20-inch light fixture. It is literally that simple. So next time you need to select an overhead light, there you go. Add the length and the width of your room. So there's that. On this side, so remember, next to the closet, they had clothes hanging, I think jackets or something. I decided to take that out and just replace it with art. And when I say art, it could be, like I said, like a framed art, of course, which is easy, or you could, you know, do like a tiny shelf with books or themed objects. There's definitely ways creatively that you can hang things. Like you could even hang like drumsticks or a bat or something like that, just to make it more creative. Neon signs we talked about. Did I talk about the cloth banners? I really like those too. There's tons of cute ones on Etsy. If you have any questions about that, I can definitely help. Here near the doorway, I figured, why don't we pull the hooks in here? Because I can just imagine the kids coming in, they want to take their sweatshirt off and just throw it somewhere. Why not just throw it on a hook right there? It's out of sight. Nice and neat there. Again, these kids seem very neat anyway, but it's just always nice to have a place to put things, and then it just takes the guesswork out of it and it keeps things off the floor, which is, again, really important in a small space. And then I would just add a piece of art up above that. Over on this side next to the bed, this is important. So I was just imagining, like, you know, for my son, he wears glasses, he likes to drink water at night, he reads a book, and he has his book light, things like that. And as the room is right now, I'll bounce back and you can see it. There's no place to put anything. Like, there you go. See, what are you doing? There's nowhere to put that unless you're putting it on the bed. And I can tell you, water will destroy these things. So what I did was I added in shelving up here above a small desk, because I thought maybe somebody might want to do some homework in here. There's room for a little chair. And then with the vertical storage here with the shelves, then all of a sudden, maybe they have their own shelf that they can personalize. And then also it's quick, easy access next to the bed for anything that they want to put, you know, before they fall asleep. And then next to that, I would put just a little bit of artwork there. So you can kind of see the concept here. Again, along this, like along the bed, I would also put some type of art or personalization. This is where you could maybe have their names or their letters if you really like that sort of thing, or just any type of art that reflects their interests and personality. Again, I would just make sure, like, top and bottom, you're looking at pieces that are within the same like color family and just kind of scheme, so that it kind of all goes together. Even though, again, there's two separate kids, two separate personalities and different interests, you still want to make sure that they have their individuality, but it also like flows together. So there is that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, and I feel like I covered everything. So yeah. So once again, I am taking submissions for you to be featured. So if you would like for your room to be featured on here, you would like a free layout, it's absolutely free. All I need you to do is take a photo from each corner of the room, horizontal, so landscape orientation, so everyone can see, get a feel for what the room looks like in each slide, and then measurements of the room, ceiling height, and I like to get door placement, window placement, closet placement, things like that, depending on what kind of room it is. We don't only do bedrooms here, we will do any room in your house. So last week or the week before, we did like a dining rec area. So whatever you have that you want assistance with in a furniture layout, definitely submit it. You can send it to hello@west11lane.com, and in the subject line, you want to put Design Lives in all caps, and then I'll know that you belong to this. So, yeah. In addition to that, I do offer full service where my team comes in and designs everything. We handle all of the legwork with regard to your furnishings. We furnish the space, hang everything up, and literally you can come back after a day out with your family, and it's like an HGTV moment where you're all surprised and happy, and some people are brought to tears. It's just incredible. So we do that as well. If you're out of state, you're not here in Southern California, I can also do virtual design. So as of now, I've worked with clients in 9 different states. So if you don't live here, I can still help you virtually. There are ways. So I'm happy to do that. I can select all of your furniture for you as well, in addition to the layout. And usually that turnaround time, depending, is like a 2 to 3 week turnaround with a single room. And then we can do multiples as well. So there are some options there. Besides that, you can find me on Instagram under West 11 Lane, and 11 is all spelled out. It's really easy to DM me. I respond to everyone, literally, unless you're not nice, but usually everyone's nice. Like, we have such a kind and supportive community, which I'm so grateful for. Now it's building on here as well, which is so fun. So anyway, I'm super grateful for you guys. I don't see any questions right now, but again, feel free to follow up with me via Instagram if you do have a question, or drop it in the comments here, and I will respond to you as quick as I can. But hopefully this was helpful, you guys, and we will see you next Thursday.